everyone, welcome back to my channel, and as you can see from today's video, or the title of today's video, I am going to be talking all things concealer. Concealers for me are a must, and I have so many favorites. I have, first of all, 10 concealers that I'm going to be sharing today, 5 drugstore, 5 high-end, but I honestly could have made this like 20 concealers. So I might have to do a follow-up with the second part because I really love that many concealers. Like, for example, I didn't even talk about the KKW concealer, or the Bare Minerals concealer, or the Tarte Shape Tape, which I ran out of, or the Estee Lauder Double concealer, which I also ran out of. So I would love to include all of those and like demo them for you guys in a future video. So if you like this, let me know that you want to see a part 2 in the near future. And I'm just going to leave it at this and get right into the video because otherwise this video is going to be too long. So let's go ahead and get started with my top 10 concealers that I love. I have no makeup on my face. I do have some on my forehead and a little bit on my chin, but no foundation on my skin. So this should be interesting. All right, so the first one that I'm going to be sharing today is from Covergirl. This is the Trublend Undercover Concealer in the shade Golden Amber. Now this has that really big oversized doe foot applicator, and let me just tell you, I feel like this is how all concealers should be because it just makes it so easy to apply and blend out. Now this specific concealer, I will tell you, is it has like that moussey texture. It is very full coverage, but also looks extremely natural on the skin. And as you guys can see, it also blends really easily on my skin. It is giving me such beautiful coverage, like instantly brighten up this area. And I also should add that with my concealers, I normally do like to go lighter than my actual foundation, probably like 1 or 2 shades lighter. Before, I used to go much lighter and I really wanted this area to be a lot brighter, but now I just like to go a few shades lighter, 1 or 2 shades, just to help brighten up, lift this whole area. Anyway, here is the Covergirl concealer. It sets beautifully, full coverage, long lasting, and I really love this color as well. Like, look how pretty this is. This is stunning. All right, next up we've got the Shiseido Synchro Skin Concealer, and I love this concealer. I use the shade Medium 303. I believe there's a few different medium shades, but I would recommend Medium 303. Now, I just want to show you guys the applicator of this because it's so interesting, and I just said that I prefer like the really big applicators, but this one, and actually there's two more brands that have really great applicators that are smaller. This applicator makes it so easy to get a good amount of product on your skin because the applicator itself somehow holds a lot of the product, if that even makes sense. But it does, like I said, a great job. It's still blending or brightening up underneath my eyes. Again, full coverage, very natural on the skin. I really think that also if you have dry skin, you will love this concealer because it feels really hydrating. Now, I will say with this concealer, you want to make sure you set it right away with a powder to ensure that it lasts all day. You'll be good to go for it to not crease or crease less throughout the day, if that makes sense. Okay, moving on to another full coverage, long-lasting drugstore concealer, and this is from NYX. It's the Can't Stop Won't Stop. It's in the shade Neutral Buff. This, you guys are gonna see immediately, is a few shades lighter than my actual skin tone. This is actually the concealer, one of the concealers I was talking about, that even though it has a small brush, the applicator is just so amazing to deposit a lot of color and actual product on your face. It's really nice. Now this is going to be a very, again, long-lasting, you guys notice the theme here, long-lasting full coverage concealer. It is waterproof as well. It's got a beautiful matte finish, and this is what it looks like underneath my eyes. Here is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer, matte finish, waterproof, long-lasting, full coverage. Beautiful, beautiful formula. Okay, next up I've got the Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer. Again, it has that really oversized applicator. By the way, the shade is 4W0, and it's got like a really nice warm undertone. And this is just a very, very high quality concealer that is so hydrating and long lasting on the skin. It's also very lightweight. You can build it, like add additional layers if you need to, but it doesn't feel heavy at all. And look at how easily it just blends out. It's so beautiful. Feels like you have nothing on your skin, and I really like it. I really, really like this concealer. So here is Dior Forever Skin Correct. All right, next up we've got the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, and I feel like everyone loves this concealer, but I am currently using the shade 30 Honey. The one thing I'll say about this concealer, now using the larger doe foot applicator, is that I don't like how small the little brush is. It just makes it like harder to apply it underneath the eyes, if that makes sense. I mean, not really, but kind of. You just get so used to the larger doe foot applicator, you know what I mean? And I think I'm just like really used to it. But anyway, I love this specific shade for my skin tone. This concealer is going to be extremely natural, lightweight, I would say like light to medium coverage. Again, when I blend this out, you can see it like barely even looks like I have any product on my skin, because this is such natural finish, natural coverage. And I'm just gonna apply a little bit on my face here as well. And my new shade recommendation to you guys is medium. Why do I keep saying medium? 30 Honey. That's the shade that I recommend to you guys. All right, next up we've got the PatMcgrath. This is called the Skin Fetish Sublime Concealer, and I have two shades in this, M16 and M17, or is it M15? M17. Although I think that I recommend the shade M16 a little bit more, especially if you are going to be using this to highlight your skin. This concealer I have just fallen in love with. Again, the applicator is small here, but it kind of like bends as you apply. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that or not, but it just makes it so easy to get a lot of product on the actual doe foot applicator and get it on your skin easily and quickly. And I love this concealer. Look at how gorgeous this is. So natural on the skin. Full coverage. If you are looking again for full coverage, this is it right here. And you know what? I really do feel like I need to actually also try out the M17 for you guys, since I have it right here. Let me actually try it out kind of like on my face here, so you can see what this shade looks like. So this is great to use all over your face, not too light. And there you go. Hopefully you can see the difference a little bit. So M16 to brighten and highlight underneath the eyes. It's just a little bit lighter than my actual skin tone. M17 if you want it to be really much closer to your actual skin tone. If you guys, of course, are close to my skin tone. Anywho, this is the PatMcgrath concealer right here on this side of my face. So the next one here is the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camel Concealer. In fact, I should have mentioned this, but the CoverGirl one is a lot more like the Tarte Shape Tape, but this does remind me of that as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, this has the really oversized doe foot applicator, very pigmented. You really only need a little bit of product. And now you guys are gonna see me work fairly quickly with this concealer, because the thing that I want to mention is that once this concealer sets, it sets. Like, it's hard to move it. But let's talk about the coverage. It is full coverage, blends out really nicely. You do, again, want to make sure you blend fairly quickly, because once it sets, it's on there, but it is long lasting. One thing that I want to call out with this concealer, one more thing I want to call out with this concealer, is that if you have dry skin like me, make sure you do a good job at just like hydrating and moisturizing your face, because it can feel a little bit more on the drying side. If you have oily combo skin, you're gonna love this, because it's like super long lasting, hardly moves throughout the day, and once it's on there for good. So this is the e.l.f. Camel Concealer on my skin. All right, next up we've got one of my favorite concealers ever. I love this concealer, and this is from Jouer. This is the Essential High Coverage Liquid Concealer, and my shade is Dulce de Leche. I do also really like this shade. This is a lot closer to my skin tone, as you guys can see. Again, I just want to mention that this has the very you know, big oversized applicator, makes it so easy to apply. And this just blends out beautifully. Like, it just has such good coverage, blends out like a dream. And I love this color match to use all over my face, because it's so close to my skin tone. Again, like all of the other concealers I've mentioned so far, this is also very long lasting. So once you apply it, you kind of just forget about it. It lasts all day long, full coverage, Very natural, doesn't feel heavy, cakey, none of that. And it just looks so nice on the skin. So here is the Jouer Essential Concealer. All right, fam, we're almost done here, but I do have to give a huge shout out to this concealer as well. This is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer, and I have the shade here, Medium Dark 120 Warm, or it says W, I'm assuming that stands for warm. This is what the applicator looks like. I really love applicators like this because even though they're small, they pick up a lot of product. And this concealer specifically, I would say is a great choice for you if you are looking for a very, very lightweight hydrating concealer. Because even as it's sitting on my skin, it just feels like hydrating and cooling, if that makes sense. But anyway, here is the concealer on my skin. So natural, blends out really nicely, and I really like it. Okay, last concealer, and of course I had to mention this one. This is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Medium to Ginger. Again, this has the smaller applicator. I do wish this had the bigger applicator, but you know what? I love this concealer so much. It's more of like a satin finish concealer. Super full coverage, as you guys can see. It blends out so easily on this skin, and I really understand the hype around this concealer. I do think that all different skin types can use this because even for my very dry skin, as long as I moisturize my skin, this doesn't feel heavy or drying at all. It just looks really beautiful on the skin. So here is NARS Natural Radiant Creamy Concealer. I totally understand the hype with this. Love it on my skin, and here it is. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do also recommend checking out my blog under the concealer section because all of these concealers are always there. So if you guys forget this video or if you ever need a reference for any of my concealers in my collection, that's a great resource for you guys to check out because it's always there and I'm constantly updating it, and I hope you guys find my website useful. I will also be linking all of the concealers that I mentioned today in the description box below. Thank you all so much for watching. Before you head out, please thumbs up, subscribe, follow me on all of my social media, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!